Welcome to The Coach's Call, a podcast by the Texas High School Coaches Association. In this show, Chris Daly introduces you to coaches across all sports and highlights the positive impact of public schools and high school athletics. Chris will introduce his guest after these messages.
Hello, Coaches Call listeners. This is Joe Martin, Executive Director of Texas High School Coaches Association. Thank you for listening to our new podcast. This is a new adventure for us. Our goal is with this podcast to help spread the stories of all positive things coaches in our great state do for athletes. We also want to keep you updated with all the THSCA initiatives our members can take advantage of. As you go through your season, don't forget to nominate your best athletes for our Super Elite teams. We will have teams from each sport and classification under the UIL umbrella. Also, we need your help recognizing the state's amazing assistant coaches and head coaches. As coaches typically don't have a problem recognizing their athletes, but we struggle when it comes to patting ourselves on the back. So let's change it. Make it a priority to help us recognize the great work that coaches do in the state of Texas. Finally, put February 3 on your calendar right now. Saturday, February the 3rd, we will have our annual regional meetings. This is a great opportunity to gather with area coaches, get THSCA updates, and nominate people for THSCA awards. This is open to all coaches of all sports, and it's the perfect way to network with coaches in your area. So go to thsca.com to find nomination forms, deadlines, regional meeting sites, and much, much more. We want to thank all of our coaches for the work they do for students every day. We will continue to support you by helping coaches help kids. Thank you.
Have you ever thought about doing your own podcast? It is the absolute best way to grow your brand, spread your message, and build your following. Fresh Media Works can help. We do all the heavy lifting, and you just focus on your message. To find out how easy we can make launching your new podcast, call 713-269-4620 or check us out at freshmediaworks.com. The interviews in this show are brought to you by the Texas High School Coaches Association. THSCA provides to its more than 26,000 members access to the people, events, tools, and resources to help them thrive in the profession, become trusted leaders in their communities, and live balanced and successful lives. The work and sacrifice coaches do every day is vital to the development and success of student athletes. The THSCA supports these efforts. We fight for every coach, provide them with the connections and resources to improve their lives, and help all student athletes throughout the state enjoy lasting success. The mission statement is simply this: to help and serve Texas high school coaches as they work to help and serve student athletes. Helping coaches help kids. For more information on the THSCA, visit www.thsca.com. All right, everybody, join me in welcoming Coach Natalie Puckett to the show. Coach, how are things today?
Things are awesome. Almost Christmas break for us teachers, and it's a good day.
Nice. Before we talk about Lovejoy and all the great volleyball being played there, I want to back up. Where did you grow up?
I actually grew up in Lucas. I went to Lovejoy High School.
Nice.
Yes.
A hometown girl.
Yes.
I love it.
It's a special place. My uncle was actually our athletic director as I was going through sports as a kid. So it definitely has that small town feel, but we're not so small town anymore.
No doubt. And did you play, what all sports did you play?
My freshman year, I kind of dabbled in a few. I did volleyball, of course, basketball and track, and then after that I was just volleyball.
Volleyball, got it. And when did you realize, hey, I want to give this coaching thing a try?
I actually, I did not play college volleyball, and I think that's a big part of why I do what I do now. I realized that I loved the sport too much that I couldn't get away from it for too long. So, 4.5 years later, I've figured out how to weasel my way back into the sport, and here I am today.
I love that. And for people who don't, Texas is football, right? So
Yep.
for people who don't understand volleyball, what do you love about the sport?
I just love the tempo, the pace.
Yeah.
It's something is happening, every 30 to 60 seconds. Somebody's scoring a point or something is happening. I love watching baseball, but if you compare the two, the tempo, the pace, the speed of the game, A, has gotten a lot faster even since I've played, but B, is just, it's fun. My nieces and nephews come to our games, and, them being, all the way from a baby to 10 years old, they're engaged. They love it. The crowd gets involved, which makes it so much fun.
Yeah, definitely. And so you're off of college, and that's where you decide you're going to do some coaching, or were you in the private sector first?
No. I actually, my first year of coaching was 2016, I think, over at Dawson Middle School at South Lake.
Nice.
And that, definitely re-sparked my love for the game, and I haven't looked back since.
Cool. And so talk about Lovejoy and just the whole DFW area being a power for volleyball.
It's insane right now. Like I said, the last 15 years, really, it's just exploded. It's such a great place to live. You can't go wrong in any of the bubbles and any of the suburbs of the DFW. Community's great. You can't, like I said, you can't go wrong. But then also the different jobs that are, coming to Texas, and a lot of them are kind of making their hometowns in DFW, is kind of pulling all sorts of different families here. And we're definitely seeing a spike in volleyball because of that, which is exciting.
Nice. And talk about the importance of, football and volleyball kick off the school year, and the importance of doing well early on.
Yeah, we schedule our preseason to be as brutal as it is. We play whoever we can. You can only schedule so many games, and oftentimes, people are telling us no, that they're full, and vice versa. And we try and make it as competitive as possible. But like I said, anybody in the Metroplex, if you can put them on your schedule, it's going to be a decent game. For whatever reason, when Lovejoy's on the other side of the net, and I've played, against Lovejoy as an assistant coach a couple times, it's tough. And everybody kind of brings their A game, which we expect, and it makes preseason a lot of fun. It makes it tough, but a lot of mental gain happens in our preseason.
Got it. And how does a school like Lovejoy become a power? Because it seems like they have been for quite a while.
So I think it's a really unique experience. I was a part of the first varsity group in 2007 with Ryan Mitchell being the head coach. He came from, I think Irving Nemetz, don't quote me on that, but he came from somewhere else. But before that, he was coaching under Karen Keeney over at Hebron. So he knew success. And so he kind of brought that over. He taught coached club at a high level. He actually coached one of my older sisters, and kind of just didn't let us settle for anything less than greatness. And we kind of just, we would have fed into Allen. And like I said, my older sister, she went to Allen. And so I got to grow up watching her go to the state tournament and be really successful. And we kind of also as athletes chose good volleyball. We chose to be competitive. We chose not to be that, that small town team that did okay. We were super competitive and wanted that too. But I think starting from the beginning was crucial.
Nice. And you as a coach, how do you, I guess, what are your early meetings look like with parents to get them to understand what Lovejoy volleyball is really about?
It starts at such a young age right now, with just the club world and things like that. These parents, it doesn't matter if they're at Lovejoy, if they're, across the street at Allen, like they know that volleyball is competitive, and the club world is super competitive too. So that aside, all parents are prepped for competition. Specifically at Lovejoy, we try and, bridge the gap of, home and school, and I try and get to know the parents, and we have, middle school parent meetings and high school parent meetings, at the beginning of each year and in the spring, just to make sure that we're all on the same page of expectations. And, I'm thinking about what goes through my slideshow, and one of the first slides always, and I'm sure as the seniors watch it, they're like, yep, I've seen this slide, but just the history of excellence that's happened. So when those girls do get that jersey, whatever team they're on, freshman, JV, varsity, they know that there's an expectation that's connected to, not just being on the team, but being competitive on the team. And the parents know that, they buy into it. And oftentimes, they're the ones that are being a little more picky than we are, than a little more hard on their girls than their coaches can be. And they know what a high level volleyball looks like, and they're willing to accept the terms.
Yeah, definitely. Texas is unique in how public schools deal with things like transfers and stuff like that. And, in the club world, kind of like AAU basketball, at least in Texas, there's a knock against it, as it goes against what we're trying to do with UIL competition. How do you make sure that the club doesn't interfere with what's going on at the high school level?
See, I think that's the question kind of sets me up. I try and partner as much as I can with club. I know that, our expectation is to win a state championship. So I know that rolls into the weekend before Thanksgiving. And then, so I ask, give me my August to November, and then I will partner with them, December to July, basically. It's edging more and more into November. A bunch of the girls already had their first tournament this past weekend, but I try and partner as much as I can with club. I know that they're going to get a lot of touches, on their club teams. A lot of them are adding their own strength and conditioning type sessions. So I try and take that into consideration, keep my off season at a super high level, but hold them accountable, but know that I need to show some grace, with their crazy qualifier seasons and things like that. Nice.
And you mentioned the off season. When you say you cooperate with them, you work together, does that affect what you're doing in the off season?
It can. We see our girls every day for 8th period. About our class period is 45 minutes. We've got an 8-period day, which ends up being, anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes of actual workouts. We try and I've kind of already painted this picture to the girls. We try and do as much as we can within that 30 and 40 minutes. But the girls know that I show up, I work hard, I get my stuff done, and then she's going to let me go so that I can check off all the other boxes that I need to check off.
Got it. So
we give a little bit. We do some yoga. We do some, recovery type sessions, because their bodies are going through a lot in the spring. The club world has escalated. I'll say that. They try and get their girls into their gym as much as they can, and I get that, because I do the same thing during high school season.
Got it. And what's your take on multi-sport athletes? There are two camps. There are the camps that say it makes a well-rounded athlete. They learn to succeed and fail at different things, and they're athletically more balanced. And the other side is, they need to focus on where they could excel the most. What's your take there?
I'm somewhere in the middle. You know what? If these specific athlete that we're talking about can handle, the schedule and the different workout practices, and we've got a couple of girls who, I think we have 3 or 4 who play basketball. We've had one who played softball in the past. We've got a few high jumpers, of course. That correlates with volleyball and track. If they can handle it, I am more than supportive for that. We share kids really well at Lovejoy. That's something that we try and preach is if you want to do more than one thing, I am not going to be the one that holds you back. Now, you're going to have to, figure out your schedule, and you're doing club and you're doing all those other things. You're going to have to make a choice at the end of the day, because some of those things are going to conflict. But I will be there for my athletes to be able to help them through coming up with that schedule and having those conversations.
Got it. And as far as the Texas High School Coaches Association, talk about what help they are in, anything that you do.
Yeah. I know I was on the SET committee for 5A last year. That was an awesome addition, getting to be able to celebrate these volleyball athletes. And then I got to go to the THSCA convention, not this summer, but the summer before, and just seeing all of the volleyball coaches, surrounding the volleyball courts for those live drills, and the community is just awesome. And I feel like THSCA does a really good job of making sure, no matter, what sport you are, male, female coach, everybody's kind of feeling connected and feeling the love, if you will.
Nice. And have you seen, I guess, a growth or a change in how THSCA deals with other sports other than football?
I feel like they have made a very vocal point to say we are here for all sports. That was definitely a message that was hit hard a couple summers ago. Whenever I went to that convention, they had a specific session just for women in coaching, and most football teams don't have women's sports, so that was huge just for us non-football coaches to be able to get together and celebrate each other's success, and then kind of all get in the same room with like-minded people.
Nice. And give the listeners kind of an idea of what a typical volleyball coach's week looks like.
Oh, that depends. So I teach, I'll call it a full schedule. I teach Algebra 1, so I got the ninth graders here at Lovejoy. So a in-season week is kind of crazy. You get up, we've got after-school practice. I teach 4 periods, and then I've got my 4th period freshman and my 8th period JV and varsity, and then we roll until about 6:15 at night with practice, and if it's not game night, and then game nights we play at 5 and 6, and then do it all over again the next day. So it's a lot. It's busy. We do Saturday practices with our varsity, so we bring them in at 8:00, go for about an hour and a half or so with some either strength and conditioning or some minimal touches, maybe some serve receive or things like that. But like to keep them honest on the weekends, and I think that helps them a lot come playoff time, because your 2 biggest weekends are your regional tournament and your state tournament, and you that's a quick turnaround for regionals. We had the 7:00 game Friday night, had to turn back around and play at 1, so they were prepped for that for sure.
Awesome. And have you seen, I've heard that volleyball is the fastest growing sport in the country right now. Have you seen the opportunities when it comes to recruiting and scholarships? Have you seen that increasing?
I feel like yes. I mean, we had 9 seniors this year, and as of right now, 5 of our 9 are committed to go to that next level, and I'm just super proud of each and every class. They just continue to amaze me. We had 2 of 5 the previous year. I can't remember. I think it was 6 of 11 the previous year. Just kind of crazy numbers. I feel like the opportunity is there for the girls, and also I feel like their parents are so supportive and encouraging through that process too, of finding the right spot for their daughters, which is awesome.
Excellent. And I guess finally, make the case for why somebody who's never entertained the idea of going to anything other than a football game, why they should go ahead and check out the volleyball game.
Oh, you have to. it's loud, it's exciting. I think about some of our playoff games, and it's just the most fun sport to watch, in my opinion. It's like I said earlier, it's quick. The speed is awesome. Somebody's scoring a point, every 30 to 60 to 90 seconds if you get a good rally in. And it's super exciting. The girls, the speed of the game has grown up throughout the last few years. And it's really, really cool to see high-level volleyball played. And just the smartness of some of our athletes it's insane. It's awesome. Watching your libero fly across the floor to pick something up, watching your setter redirect the ball, and watching big monster kills. It's pretty cool. It's indoor, so if you're not an outdoor football watcher, then come on in. But it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And I said finally before, but this one I promise. Final question. How about the relationships you've developed with athletes? Because you've been coaching long enough that you've seen some of them go on and grow up and become parents, and
that is the most special part of our jobs. I always say, the girls don't respect you unless they have some sort of relationship with you. That does not mean I'm not saying I'm any of these girls' best friends. On some days I was their worst friend, but the relationships are huge. Just being able to make those connections and dig deeper and find more is huge. And they will see so much. They do see so much success in their futures because of coaches who can push them that 1 inch further, that one step further. And it's really, really cool to be able to watch. I know that's a part of my banquet speech to all the seniors as they move on, and they know all my meetings with "Don't be a stranger." It's the most favorite part, is building those relationships, seeing the girls grow, and getting to be along for the ride.
I love that. Coach Natalie Puckett, I want to thank you for sitting down with me on the Coach's Call by the THSCA and sharing some of your stories.
Thank you.
Hey, of course, I want to thank our guest, but I also want to thank you. I want to thank you for giving me what I consider the most valuable thing you can give, your time and your attention. And I know you don't do it to hear me. You hear it for the great messages provided by the THSCA. And hey, if you'd like to associate your company with the THSCA and the Coach's Call podcast, limited sponsorship opportunities are available. You can reach out to me, Chris Daly, 713-269-4620, or head over to my website, freshmediaworks.com. Once again, thank you so much for supporting Texas high school coaches. Please share this show out to everybody you can so that we can help share these important messages. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time on The Coach's Call.